Now, we all know the Mascot horror genre is extremely saturated with many games. From the likes of FNAF all the way up to Garten of Banban, there is so many games filled with so many different types of content, and also huge differences in quality regarding, for example, when you look at Poppy's Playtime Chapter 3 all the way to Garten of Banban 2 or 3, you can see the vast difference between a lot of Mascot horror games in terms of quality. Now, to me, I was patiently waiting to get more Poppy's Playtime news, or even a FNAF Ruin kind of sequel or a Security Breach sequel. However, there was one thing I was very curious on finding out: if there was any new Mascot horror games that genuinely showed some really promising features and also some level of uniqueness. And that's when I ended up coming across this game made by Unique Geese called Indigo Park. And I won't lie, it very much surprised me. Indigo Park might be one of the most fun Mascot horror games I've had in a long time, and also a very surprising entry into the Mascot horror subgenre, because to me, I felt like this game was kind of mid upon just starting it. However, the introductory scene regarding the whole cinematic is also really cool. It has different references to a lot of different games, along with a reference to Garten of Banban with the bird up soda can, so it's pretty interesting to see what this game had in store for a lot of us. However, upon entering the game, the one thing that really stood out to me was the graphics. The graphics are super interesting, and honestly really clean, considering this game seems to have only 1 or 2 creators. So I found that really impressive. To me, I felt like this game has really huge potential, and when I continued on the game, that potential only rose higher and higher as we slowly get introduced to the different characters around the place. For example, we have the actual main character of the whole game, which is this raccoon character, who is honestly the coolest dude ever. I won't lie, it's like an AI that talks to us on little screens throughout the park. However, we don't really get a full glimpse at this animatronic as a actual physical being. To me, that is a little bit fishy, as when it comes to FNAF Security Breach Ruin with the Mimic, I can't really trust this dude anymore, because I kind of have the whole trauma of having to trust this one person just to find out they're the villain the whole time. We just don't know just yet. However, we get introduced to Molly McCaw, this Finley character who seems to be this kind of sea monster thing, and also a lion. And our first encounter of an animatronic in this game involves this lion, and I think that this scene definitely needs to be talked about, because at first this lion from a distance looks really awesome. This scene is filled with tension. There's a good jump scare in here, but however, there was one thing that really took me out of the immersion, and that is one of the graphical animations regarding this lion. For example, when you escape this area, the lion grabs your hand, and the graphics are just a little bit cartoony. I don't know if that's just me or the game is in early access or anything like that, I don't know, but to me it just did look a little goofy. However, the graphics did improve when it came to characters later on in the game, which I was very happy about, as this one scene just kind of took me out of the immersion for a little bit. However, the rest of the game just dragged me straight back in. As for example, we enter this kind of ball pit area, which did really remind me of the daycare from Security Breach. However, we get dragged into this ball pit as we enter in Molly's area, which is obviously the bird, as we end up encountering this bird in a really cool way as we enter a slide, and the bird is kind of sitting at the top of the slide awaiting us to go up as we see her run away. It didn't necessarily scare me too much, but I could definitely see that jump scare getting a lot of people. But to me, this game was super interesting, especially in the way of how it ends. When you end up completing all the puzzles and stuff like that and you encounter the bird, you get a really cool chase scene, which to me was really cool, very reminiscent of the Dog Day chase from Poppy's Playtime 3, and you end up actually killing this bird in a way I did not expect whatsoever.
I don't believe you. I don't care. It's gonna close, obviously, right? I'm so happy I turned around.
That kill of the bird was genuinely one of the most surprising things of this entire game, because I thought this game was going to be similar to Banban in a way where there was going to be no level of gore whatsoever. However, when you just see this bird's head just pop off its body, it does surprise you, I'm not gonna lie. And to me, it was probably one of the most pleasant surprising in Mascot horror, because we have that sort of trait now in Mascot horror where it has to appeal to kids, and has to appeal to kids really only. That's the whole vibe I get from Banban, is that it's very kid-like, but I obviously haven't played Banban in a long time. I just never really got to the rest of the games because I just saw the amount of controversy around the whole game, so I never really gave it a chance. However, just from the clips I've seen comparing these two games together, I low-key would prefer to play Indigo Park Park at the moment. But ultimately, that is just my opinion on Indigo Park. We are only in chapter 1, and I'm so excited to see what chapter 2 has in store for us all, because genuinely I think this could be one of the most fun Mascot horror games out there. I am really intrigued to see how chapter 2 gets along. But if you haven't played Indigo Park, do go play it for yourself. I'll leave a link in the bottom of the description. Definitely go check it out and go support Unique Geese, because I think this game has super high levels of potential, and I'm really excited to see how the game gets on. But ultimately, if you like this video, make sure to smash the like button down below. If you like analog horror, Mascot horror, anything to do with horror on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're closing in on 4K subs, and as always, I hope you all have the most amazing day. Stay safe and peace.
Okay, I'll let you go. See you next time, buddy. Please?
First shot of this episode. Tammy picks this house.
Oh, what about that one?
Now, if you ask me, that is the, worst house you can pick. It has wallpaper on the outside.